Hi, and welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm Pastor Paul Steele from Bethlehem Church in Austin, Minnesota. Now, The Bottom Line is our weekly summary of the previous Sunday's sermon. And if you've been following along with us, you know we've been in this sermon series entitled Questions That God Asks. Now, this past Sunday, we wrapped up this series with one last question from the book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 4. Now, you may be asking, well, why does God ask questions? Well, God asks questions because he wants us to be mindful of our relationship with him. God knows everything, but he wants us to be intentional. He wants us to put thought into how we relate to him, how we live. Now, the question that God asks here through the prophet Haggai is this: why are you living in luxurious houses while my house lies in ruins? The people are returned to Jerusalem from exile about 18 years before this. And while they had spent their time rebuilding their lives, they had neglected to rebuild the temple. They laid the foundation, but then they encountered some opposition. They started to focus on their lives, on what they needed to do, on their responsibilities. And the temple continued to lay in ruins. God wasn't honored. So he says, why is this? Why haven't you followed the example of David, who wasn't content with the fact that he lived in a nice palace, but the Ark of the Covenant remained in a tent? He wanted to build the temple. And God continues to say that their actions are like the actions of their ancestors. They are continuing the pattern of covenant unfaithfulness. And that's why they're experiencing drought. That's why they're experiencing hardship. And here's the amazing thing, that once the people heard this message, they got to work on the temple. Unlike their ancestors who continued to ignore God, they said, no, this is important. This is what we're going to do. God is honored through our obedience. God is honored through our obedience. And that's our bottom line. We bring glory and honor to God when we obey him. That's what we need to do. Obey God in the things that he has asked us to do. And so our challenge this week is simply this: to obey God in an area that we've neglected. Is there somebody that we need to forgive? Is there a charity or a ministry that God has asked us to give to that we just keep putting off? Is there some way that we should be volunteering our time and we don't want to make that sacrifice? Whatever it is, now is the time to stop neglecting what God has asked us to do and to obey him. Hey, thanks for listening. I want to invite you to be part of Bethlehem on Sunday mornings at 10:30. You can join us online through YouTube or here or on Facebook. You can join us in person next to Ellis Middle School here in Austin, Minnesota. And I also want to invite you, if you have some prayers that you'd like me to be praying about, let me know. Send us a message because I'd love to pray for you. Have a wonderful rest of the week, and God bless.